Back, then it's Murphy, Wilson, Ragan and Pello, Mogg and Bosk. The forward pack, Chan, Maguire, who's the captain, Elima, Croker, Muniz and Carlaw. And on the bench, Guisset, Fakir, Casti and Bale. And the coach is Mick Potter. Now the Warrington Wolves, Hicks at full back, Riley, Gleeson, King and Penny, Breers and Monaghan. Morley, Clark and Rauhihi, Westwood, Mitchell and Grix. And the bench, Wood, Braycheck, Cooper and Blythe. The coach is James Lowes. So we're going to watch two sides here tonight who really have staggered their way into the playoffs. But from here on in, for these two and for all the rest, it really does start to get just a bit serious. Let's go to the south of France now. Let's join Bill Arthur and Steve-O in Perpignan as they set the scene.
Yes, a great atmosphere ahead of this game at the Gilbert Brutus. Catalan Dragons' first playoff involvement in only their third season in Super League. Not bad, but Steve, they go into it with only one win in the last 6 games. That's not playoff form.
No, it is a bit of a problem for them, but I just get the impression that Mick Potter, the coach, has known that they're going to take the third spot. So I think they've been holding back. I think they'll be on fire tonight, though.
Jason Croker, of course, back for the Dragons, but the big news is that Aaron Gorrell has been dropped. Casey Maguire returns. That's a bold move by the coach, isn't it?
Certainly is, but I think that Potter wants a little bit more action, a little bit more speed at the play the ball area. He knows that he's got the power out wide. He knows that he's got the green shields coming in from the fullback into the three-quarter line. And when you can do that, that means they're going to spread the ball against this Warrington outfit. And let's face it, the Wolves have not been defending well.
Well, the Warrington news is that Rauhihi and Morley, of course, play, but is James Lowes taking a risk with those two?
I think he's not only taking a risk with those, is the fact that we don't know whether Lee Breers is 100%. Now, my spies down here in the south of France, they've been watching them training, and evidently he's been heavily bandaged. It is a huge risk, but I think James Lowes has got no option but to just throw out the big guns because they've got to fire tonight. They have not been playing well. If they can, and if Breers can play out of his skin, they're in with a chance. But I just have a real suspicion that it's going to be the French side that will win tonight.
Thanks, fellas. Yes, the bookies agree with them as well. Phil Clark is watching here in the studio with me, and this is the scene inside the stadium. Catalan Dragons, Phil, firm favourites.
Yes, they haven't played well lately, but there are 7 other teams who would be loved to be lining out there here tonight, and they've gained qualification for the race to Old Trafford, and it's now about trying to perform at your best over the next month. And the Catalan Dragons have shown at times this year they can match it with the big boys, but can they do it now tonight when the pressure's on?
We're about to find out. Let's go over to the stadium in Perpignan and the commentary team, Terry, Steve-O and Bill.
Thanks, Eddie, and the pressure certainly is on the Warrington Wolves. A partisan crowd here in Perpignan. Just a little pocket of Warrington supporters at one end of the ground. Warrington playing into the face of a pretty strong wind blowing down that field and up against the Catalan Dragons side that means business in this, their first playoff game, Steve-O.
It's obvious that the French side know that's the first penalty. You can see that Warrington very eager to get into the faces. They realise that the Catalan side, they have a habit of trying to get as many points up in the first 20 minutes, and this will certainly help them.
Yeah, the early penalty then to the Catalan Dragons, and the Dragons with the wind at their back, but they failed to find touch, and that is a costly error because Warrington back in possession, so that'll lift their spirits, and they need the spirits lifting after their recent poor form. 4 defeats in a row and not a good playoff record. They've won only 1 of 4 previous playoff games, but Warrington fans take heart because that was an heroic 18-17 win at Leeds Rhinos. Comparably tough, I would say, but this really is going to be difficult because it is a very, very G'd up local crowd. And there is Rauhihi. Now, are they taking a gamble on his fitness? Talk of a groin problem. Westwood takes the ball up. And Warrington, a good start would certainly do them a power of good and lift spirits and maybe quell the local passion, and they get the penalty.
They'll take the 2 here, Bill. They won't mess around, I'm sure. They know that in these sudden death playoffs, they've got to make sure they get points on the board. Messing around on Monaghan, no doubt about it. Muniz is the culprit. And this will settle the nerves, but it was a nervous start by the French outfit. Now they have this amazing wind behind them in the first 40 minutes. They went for length from the first penalty, and didn't find touch. Mick Potter will be furious over that.
Well, they are going for the 2 points, and it'll be Chris Hicks to try and continue this amazing scoring record, playing and scoring in all 29 games this season. The only man this season to have done that. Thomas Bosk was shoulder to shoulder with him. There are the Wolves supporters who've made the journey, and there aren't that many of them, but they are in party spirit, and there'll be some party, just a little party, but it'll be some party if they pull this one off in Perpignan. And Hicks, one of several players in this Warrington side with playoff experience, and putting it to good use. Faint cheers away to my left from that little group of supporters as Warrington take the lead.
You talk about injuries, Bill, and the Warrington guys going in, Adrian Morley and Paul Rahihi carrying knocks into the game. Warrington kicked the 2 points, they've got the penalty, they go in front, but it's all about the injuries. Can they sustain and maintain this winning streak that they've started with?
Well, here is Adrian Morley, first hit up from him, and of course question marks over his fitness. Pulled a muscle in his side against Huddersfield last weekend, and has been having intensive treatment this week to get him fit for this game.
It's important that the forwards really do show up tonight. They realise, they know they've got the two half-backs in Lee Briers and Michael Monaghan. They can be constructive, they can create the openings for their players, but the forwards have got to lay that platform. Can they do it?
Gleeson restored to his centre position after his role at standoff against the Giants last week. Briers for Westwood, and Westwood, just a neat little bit of footwork gets him out of the first bit of trouble, but then he's closed down by Ellimer and by Ragan. Now here is Briers. Briers kicking into the teeth of that wind. It's going to hang in the wind, and Greenshields had to come and get that one in the end.
Spot on there, Bill. It was very strong indeed, but good position by the full-back. He really has been the start of the Dragons this season, Greenshields. Keep an eye out for him. He loves to just link into the three-quarter line, usually just inside the inside centre.
Carlaw takes the tackle just on the halfway line for the Catalan Dragons, just edging into the Warrington half. And here is Adam Mogg. Now Thomas Bosk. Greenshields spins the ball out wide. Here is Dimitri Pello. Pello is tackled.
Pretty good play there. Pretty good play there, Bill, in as much as they've gone on that quick blind side.
Greenshields chip ahead. Was he taken out? No, he wasn't. And it's well covered by the fullback, Chris Hicks.
Well, good work for Riley there. They got to go over the running numbers to just pull them through. Good work on that short blind side.
So a first scare for the Warrington Wolves. They survive it. Good work it was by Riley. Morley again.
Well, if there's any doubts about Morley's fitness, you can see there as the shirt's been pulled up, he's heavily strapped around the rib cage, and he looks as though he was hurt there.
But it's important for them that he's out there. They are up against this big Catalan pack, and Chan and Ellimer leading the charge for them, but to come off the bench, you've got Guisset and Fakir. Another hanging kick. Again, Greenshields is there.
I think there's a problem with Adrian Morley. After he took that big knock.
Morley went in high there on Justin Murphy. Well, Murphy went down low, depends which way you see it. Here is Alex Chan.
But you know what, you talk about injuries going into the game, you've got to have your big guns out there. In playoff football, you get one crack at it. If whoever loses this game tonight, they don't get a second crack. That's why Adrian Morley and Rahihi, as you can see in the tackle, was that ball stripped?
Well, it wasn't, says the referee Ganson. No. They'll have mixed feelings about his presence here, the Catalan Dragons. He's been here twice this season. They've both ended up as draws against Wigan and Hull. Ellimer appealing there.
Well, the referee's got it absolutely spot on there. You can see Ellimer was trying to offload, and then just at the last moment he tried to drag the ball back in with the fingertips, lost control of it. Simple as that. Well, it's a good start by Warrington.
Alex Chan just disputing that decision. Here is Matt King now. And King runs into some solid Catalan defence there, just inside his own 40.
They've got to be patient of Warrington. Not try to be too extravagant early. Just make sure that they get through the set of 6. Good kick and chase. Trying to put a few doubts into the minds of the Catalan side.
Rauhihi makes a few yards for Warrington. 3 tackles gone in this set. And here is Monaghan and Morley. Well, if Morley is carrying an injury, then he's carrying it very bravely, because he's not shirking his duties out there. Not that you'd expect that from the player who was voted the club's player of the year. Well, he won multiple awards at the Warrington awards night the other night.
They're very fortunate there, Catalans. Thomas Bosch came out of the line. If they could get it away, it's a nice kick from Breers.
It is, but the chase isn't maybe so strong that as he would have hoped, and Greenshields had time to come across and get that one. But nevertheless, it's a good, positive start from the Warrington Wolves. Maybe viewed as the underdogs going into this game, but the Catalan coach Mick Potter warning in the local press yesterday, beware the wounded animal, beware the wounded wolves. They've got great motivation here tonight, everybody writing them off, or a lot of people writing them off. Here come the Catalan with Dane Carlaw.
Good play, that quick play of the ball, running onto it, getting over the advantage line.
Now Casey Maguire almost breaking through there, needed a good tackle from Simon Griggs.
Be a penalty, surely.
Well, the referee saying it's still the last, and Olivier Elima chases this one, and Hicks is collared. Well, that's another decision that Catalan are disputing. Not for long, though. They continue with Kevin Penny, and Penny putting the footwork on, but doesn't outfox Jason Croker. Here is Morley again.
It's going to be interesting to see on either side the energy levels. If they can share the work, it'll certainly pay off for them late in the game, but it's pretty strong defence from the Catalans at the moment. Warrington struggling to get over that 30-metre line.
Ben Westwood, Gleeson. Gleeson was still looking, even as he was heading towards the deck there, he was still looking for some support. Breers will kick into the wind. Not a bad kick considering, and Greenshields takes it. Dimitri Pello is there, and Pello, this Australian-born but French ancestry winger, runs the ball back. Now here is Greenshields.
Crowd getting a little bit irritated with the referee. And I must say Steve Ganson is allowing well, a lot of the Warrington players to lay on at the moment. It's not bad tactics.
Well, Warrington would be very happy if the pace of the game, if they could dictate the pace of the game.
And even in the first 10 minutes of this game, the Catalan forwards seem to be getting over the advantage line, getting quick play of the balls, and really looking for Thomas Bosch to play on the edges. The Warrington forwards seem to be struggling. It's only really Adrian Morley that's making any inroads.
That was good defence by Monaghan to stop Thomas Bosch. The kick from Casey Maguire, fielded by Breers.
Well, it's obviously a tactic. Mick Potter, their coach, is that's the 4th time they've put a short kick in. Obviously trying, Bill, to try to turn this Warrington side around time and time again. Maybe they can just run out of energy.
Maguire and Breers just a little bit of a set 2 off the ball there after that tackle short time ago. Clark now goes on his own just over the halfway line, then Morgan Rauhihi exchange pleasantries.
It's getting tasty.
And Monaghan with the kick. And Penny will chase this one. Murphy has got to be careful, and he watched that one dribble into touch. And Kevin Penny breathing down his neck.
10 minutes into the game, just a neat little kick through. We'll be quite happy with that. Mick Potter, a bit concerned over the past 5 weeks. A lot of people suggest, especially down in these parts, that they've just held back slightly, Terry, in as much that they're just going to build for this game.
I think a lot of the guys, Steve, but you've hit on it there, that 7 of the guys have never played in playoff football before, and they knew that once they'd cemented that 3rd spot, they knew that the focus was all about the playoffs and how they will do. And the likes of Thomas Bosch, I think that a lot of the French guys are really looking forward to progressing in this playoff system.
So are the Warrington Wolves. They're ahead by 2 points to 0 at the moment. That is good work by Gregory Muniz. And then Chan ducks under the first challenge, but then Rauhihi comes in, and that's a great shot by Paul Rauhihi. Forward of the Year award he won at that awards night. And that's the sort of hit that gets you awards. But Griggs did his bit as well.
Oh, Rauhihi got the left shoulder right under the ball-carrying arm. Bang! Morley went a little bit high,
That's a sandwich. And the meat has come out the Warrington end.
It's a good start for the Warrington Wolves, this. They've got points on the board, they've subdued the crowd here. And they've got Catalan Dragons pretty quiet at the moment. It's Lee Mitchell.
Just basic rugby league, that's all they need. Obviously that's been handed down from James Lowe's and say, let's get into a good position.
Breers, quick pass for Westwood.
Good
Westwood
build-up.
makes progress there.
Certainly coming back on the angle, not running straight. Well spotted by the defence. Now then, what's Breers got up his sleeve?
He's got Morley on his shoulder, and Morley legs driving. Gets him closer to that try line, but that's the fifth tackle. Clark, Monaghan, and then Breers with the kick. Not a bad one. Murphy's going to be under pressure. And he was desperately hoping that one would find its way over the dead ball line, but nothing doing, had to play at it.
That's the quality of Lee Breers. When he's on top form, everybody knows that the Warrington Wolves can play at the top of their game. The pressure was good. Penny did exceptionally well. They're looking a little bit confused, are the Catalan Dragons.
Rauhihi takes that ball up. It's well met by Wilson and Croker. Lee Mitchell now. Mitchell plays the ball. Clark. Monaghan all wrapped up by Elima. That's 3 tackles gone. Clark. Across the field, and that gets the pass away to Westwood. Westwood, now Gleeson looking to use that footwork that is so devastating and almost taking him to the try line there. Breers stabs the kick in. Morley is chasing it, and Monaghan runs out of room.
And again, a wonderful kick through by Lee Breers, just a little bit too strong. And you can see that the Catalans, they are struggling, having a lot of problems with it. He tried ever so hard, did Monaghan, just couldn't do it.
Well, referee Ganson ignoring that, to the fury of the Catalan supporters.
Well, they're all over them. The Catalan fans are going absolutely berserk. And that's the third on the trot that the referee has just ignored.
Greenshields, big hit by Lee Mitchell.
Well, they're all over them. They're trying to get on with it. You've got to roll away in the play the ball area. 3 times they failed to do it. And Ganson said, get on with it.
Carlaw, that's the 5th tackle. Good defence from Warrington. It's Mogg who's running it. Mogg finds Bosk, and Bosk, he's going to run out of room. The ball will be picked up by Grix, and that was really not what was intended from the Catalan Dragons.
Silly play.
Do you know, I'm watching Lee Breers in the background. He's shouting everything at his troops. He's really commanding his forwards, tightening up in the middle of the ruck, and that's where they're starting to be so dominant. They're starting to turn these Catalan forwards on the back, and that's a very hard job to do because they are a big physical set of forwards.
There's Jason Croker, the old man of the side, 35 years old, and this his 17th playoff appearance. What a record that is. It's betted out there by Adrian Morley. 22 playoff appearances in this hemisphere and, of course, in the NRL, but that is some record. And successes, of course, in both hemispheres as well. The kick from Monaghan, and Greenshields. Oh, that could have caused him all sorts of problems, but Penny let him slip.
And a good chase. Good work by Penny to start with, and then Matt King got through, and finally the crowd are appeased. They've been somewhat confused with Mr. Ganson's interpretation, not standing squared on this occasion, and this is a huge relief.
And Bosk does find touch this time. So Gise is on the field, and the referee has called over Lee Mitchell, I think. And it's offside.
Well, he's back 4 yards in front of me and back.
Mitchell was the culprit. So that's back-to-back penalties for the Catalan Dragons. That should pacify the crowd, Steve-O.
Well, it should do as well, but as I say, they're looking somewhat confused. Normally, the Catalans rip their opposition apart in the opening 15 minutes. It has not worked out that way, but it's good runs like that that will certainly test the defence.
Here's Chan now. Dumped to the ground.
Watch for Greenshields out wide, coming outside the centre. They've gone on the blind.
Bosk, quick hands, Wilson. Good tackle by Matt King that time. Wilson trying to spin out of trouble. Croker, Bosk. Here is Guisset just on the field. Handed over the captaincy today to Casey Maguire. Guisset in the shadow of those posts, the first real threat on this Warrington line. And Greenshields tried to go on his own. He had Ragan outside him, might have been the better option. Still alive here. The ball will come back to Mogg, and Mogg will stretch over, or will he? It's back to 6 though. Referee Ganson saying that they'd played at that.
Wonderful defence.
Jamil Fakir trying to barge his way over the line, but he is driven back.
What a hero, Westwood. 2 tackles on the trot, both try-savers.
And Warrington now, camped on their own try line. Guisset, he's tackled just short of it. It was Monaghan stopping him in his tracks. Mogg, they'll look to get this one out wide now, will they? Bosk out wide to Murphy, and Murphy will get the first try of the game. And eventually the dam burst. And the first time really that the Catalan Dragons had put a meaningful attack together. Warrington, well, they held them in the middle, they conceded another set of 6, and in the end the ball out wide just caught them short of numbers, and Justin Murphy gets his 11th try of the season.
Tremendous dummy running by 2 of the Catalan players. Move in, you can see that Penny had just drifted right inside. Not a finger laid on this fella, and Murphy gets the first try of the game. Super stuff. Thomas Bosk knew exactly that we're going to get the overlap there, but it all came about by some wonderful heavy work in the forwards, and then Warrington giving away 2 consecutive penalties that put the Dragons into a wonderful position.
And doesn't that go to show, Steve-O, that you can't give away penalties to a Catalan side who are playing at home, who are very confident at this side. They've been under a lot of pressure off the Warrington side, but they're still looking to play with width. They've still got the players running into the next hole, and that's where the opportunities will come as the game gets on. Then tries will start to turn up, but Thomas Bosk, he just weaves his magic so often.
And he's looking to weave a bit of magic here, but from the touchline he does have the wind at his back. Missed the game against Harlequins last week, and ending his scoring run. Oh! So close from Bosk, but Catalan ahead 4-2.
The combination Mogg and Bosk has been so successful this season, and it's sucked in Kevin Penny, make it pretty easy for this fella Murphy. This hits the post, the strong wind looked as though he was going to get it. Well, it'll be a relieved home side, because full credit to the Warrington side. It's big underdogs before this game started.
The Warrington players still chuntering at Steve Ganson about that decision to award Catalan another set of 6, and he's saying just here on the referee's microphone that somebody stuck out a boot, not the view I think of John Clark.
And that's not a good sign, that when you're asking questions of the referee, you've just got to get on with the job. It's gone. The referee will never change the mind. You're not going to get the try took off you. But Jamil Fakir, what a start he's had since he's got onto the pitch.
And what a reception from Morley.
It certainly was, and that's the tactics that they've got to utilise. They know they've got to use this strong wind. Good position there by Penny.
And here's Chris Hicks.
Now, if you just see on the background, look at all the Warrington players from that kick. There was half a dozen who were finding it very difficult to get back over the 10-metre line.
Well, Gleeson making progress and then driven back by the combined force of the Catalan defenders, and it was some force. You got Croker there, Fakir and Guisset. That's good work. Oh, and then the pass straight into the hands of Jason Croker. It was Paul Wood, and first real involvement for Paul Wood.
Well, it was a good drive by Wood as well, but the substitute just turned at the last moment, tried to offload.
Here is Croker.
So impressed with the tactics from Mick Potter, the Catalans coach, because he knows that the big forwards driving through, getting over the advantage line, they're working the opposition forwards. They're having to work overtime to keep them out.
Mogg now. Chan was the dummy runner. Oh, quick hands, looked like a forward pass that. Breers certainly thought so. He had a good view of that. It was Gregory Muniz who took it. Play continues though. Oh, Gleeson has tried to snaffle that one. Now then, what's he going to give there? That's the turnover. Good work from Gleeson.
Good defence. He had to get into his face as well. And that's the second occasion, really, when they've missed the opportunity, Catalan, to utilise a kick into the in-goal area.
So the tackle just before that's brought that Catalan attack to an end.
Well, let's see what the energy they've got in this Warrington outfit. Will the forwards line up? Yes, they will.
Warrington trailing by 4 points to 2 here. Wood over the halfway line. Good to see Paul Wood back in action after such a poor run of injuries. Clark.
He's the man that can really change the game for Warrington. John Clark, if he starts running from the dummy half, create a bit of confusion, first and second markers.
Oh, the kick from Monaghan ricochets off Pello, unfortunately for him, back into his hands. Now Catalan with a bit of work to do to get out of trouble. Westwood putting a bit of pressure on. Pello just had to adjust to take that pass. It really is a hostile atmosphere, this one.
This is what's impressive about Catalan. Even when they've been defending, they've been put under pressure. Whenever they got chasing back, when the kick's been put behind them, the players get back and they run into space, because they know that if they congregate around the ball, all the Warrington defence have to do is cram in really try and dominate them.
Maguire, the pass out wide, and Penny does get it. I thought it had got away from him. That was risky from the Dragons, and they were fortunate that Kevin Penny didn't disappear right down the other end of the field. So Warrington have the ball back.
Well, that amazes me. They went for the power play. Remember, they have this strong wind behind them of the French outfit. And that'll be something up the sleeve of James Lowes, especially with the fact that Lee Breers is out there. We know he's a great exponent of the 40-20.
Best 40-20 kick. Oh, and the penalty goes against Warrington. Incorrect play of the ball.
Well, that's kindergarten stuff. You don't come into a big playoff like that and come up with an error. And as simple as that.
I can see down below us, cameras can't pick him up, but Warrington coach James Lowes is absolutely livid at that decision. He's just a few metres away from the fourth official.
But someone with so much experience as Matt King, to roll the ball back, not even attempt with his foot, before he even gets to his feet.
Fakir plays the ball just on the Warrington 40-metre line. Maguire. Here's Chan. The big decision for Mick Potter ahead of this game was to leave Aaron Gorrell out to accommodate Casey Maguire on his return to the side. And Aaron Gorrell, whose contract with the Catalan Dragons will come to the end when their playoff involvement ends, might not play for them again as the kick is put in and very coolly dealt with by Chris Hicks. Watched that all the way, had Catalan players thundering after him, but he knew what he was doing. And they'll have to come back. Tap it with your foot is the instruction to John Clark.
Well, shouldn't that be a penalty if he's failed to do that?
So Warrington, not quite the momentum they were hoping for there from the restart. Paul Wood plays the ball. Here is Morley. Well, he's still out there. If he is carrying an injury, he's playing through the pain barrier.
Is he ever? It's very brave indeed, and they're only 2 points adrift, and this will be a very, very good first half if they can keep it just to the 2 points deficit. Now, the kick's going to be always difficult for Warrington. It will hang against a strong wind.
Monaghan, Breers, great quick hands, but then King goes without it.
The opportunity was there, and the big fella knows it. King knows that they created the overlap, and as a lot of players do, even at this level, he had a little bit of a look and see where Justin Murphy was coming at him. You've got to make sure you grab the ball before you look for the opposition defence.
Do you think you can claim the pass was just dipping behind him? Either way, in a playoff game, you can't afford to squander possession like that.
You know what, Bill? One coach said to me when I was growing up, if your hands touch it, you can catch it.
Matt King failed to do that. Catalan have the ball back. Here is Mog. Mog, just a very deceptive, lazy style he's got. And Maguire now. Maguire, darting run from him. Coming up towards the half-hour mark. Mog, Chan. Some of the early fury has gone out of this game. It's still just the 2 points in it, 4-2 in favour of the Catalan Dragons.
And they'll be quite happy, Bill, is the fact that they know that they're having to get their opposition working hard in defence, and that was sapping their energy. Quick play the ball. They look in control at the moment, the Catalans. Surely this will be a high one.
Let's see what Mog will come up with on the last tackle. He's looking for somebody, and it's Jason Croker. They are still running this. Wilson, Murphy heading for the corner. He might still get there. He will. Did he get the ball down? Well, if he did, there's got to be questions asked about that Warrington defence, because it looked as though Murphy should have been dumped into the Mediterranean there, but somehow he managed to stay in the field of play, and he might well have got his second try of the game.
Well, they were forced into the power play on this occasion. Greenshields did ever so well. Back on the inside, they had the numbers. That's try time.
That's a try, and Justin Murphy got 2 tries in the 54-12 win in June. He got 2 tries at Warrington in 2006. He's got 2 tries again tonight, surely.
Well, it looks that way to me. Look from a different angle.
Ian Smith is the video ref.
But they went far too high, didn't they?
Oh, now then, from that angle, you wonder.
Well, he's certainly got the fingertips on it.
Did he?
Pretty close, very close indeed. This is very difficult.
Murphy reckons he did.
Benefit of the doubt, maybe, who knows? Different angle yet again. Still doesn't take away the fact that Mitchell went far too high. So did Monaghan. Wonderful effort by Murphy. Will it be his second try?
It's the video ref's decision that matters. Still waiting to see what Ian Smith reckons to that.
Dips it down.
Oh,
I think the fingertips are on it.
Do you reckon so? I think he might have lost that, Terry.
I think looking at that angle, Bill, I think that's a try.
I'm with you, Terry. I think this will be given. It was fully deserved because Murphy had to jink back on the inside. Tried to have his head knocked away from... I think that's got to be given, surely.
Well, we're still awaiting the verdict from the truck.
Well, I must say, Murphy's the only one that's convinced. Mitchell, right, whack. Look at that. When he really should have gone for a lower hit, push him away through.
And again, they look at it. Well, how many times? Is he trying to break Steve Ganson's record for one of these decisions?
Well, I tell you what, he's only 30 seconds away from it.
That's probably why Steve Ganson's hurrying him up. There's a record at stake here. Oh, the try is awarded. And Murphy gets his 50th try for the Catalan Dragons. The first Dragons player to reach that figure. And he shouldn't have got it. Warrington will be thinking that. But he did. And again, on that wing, they've scored the try.
It could have gone either way there, Bill, and I'm not so sure who was more excited. But Steve Ganson said, well, I don't think my record's been broken. He was so quick to raise it. Time on, yeah, that's a try. But that was quick hands, wasn't it? They were forced into that. Take nothing away from the Warrington defence. They tried to force it across, but the last attempt at kicking, and it's got there this time.
Oh, what a great kick from Thomas Bosk. And that one is like a snooker player, the in-off.
And that was a confident try as well. Jason Croker, knowing it was the last try, he looks up here, puts the ball. Justin Murphy does ever so well. The Warrington defence come over to hit him, but he comes up with that try, leaves 4 or 5 Warrington guys on the floor.
So Murphy, 50th try in 65 appearances. Gold by Bosk, 10-2 now Warrington lead. I was going to say that this wasn't a bad first half for them before that try, because it was 38-0 in June here when they lost that 54-12 game. But it's 10-12 now, 10-2 now in favour of the Catalan Dragons, coming up to the half-hour mark. That's still not bad.
And you know what's the reaction of the Warrington players now, because all the pressure's been on the Catalan side. Adrian Morley's now gone off the pitch, and they really need to start controlling these forwards. Jamil Fakir is making inroads every time he gets the ball.
Well, he made his 50th Dragons appearance last weekend at Harlequins, Jamil Fakir.
Over the last 10 minutes, the home side Catalans have just been getting over that advantage line with so much ease. Quick play of the ball, and you get the feeling that Warrington are struggling.
Mogg, a little chip kick over the top, and Riley came for it, saw it wasn't going to come to him, so he had to retrieve it on his own try line.
You look at turning points in the game, don't you? And in this first half, the turning point was the 2 penalties that got Catalan back into the game.
So Warrington now having to dig themselves out of a bit of a hole. Mitchell plays the ball, and here's Gleeson. 4 tackles gone. Paul Wood now.
That's a better run. They're near the halfway line, and then give it plenty of height. Could be difficult. It'll blow back.
They're giving Breers plenty of room to put the kick in. He's not under a lot of pressure. Neither was Greenshields there, though, and Dimitri Pello, well, almost took advantage of the slip by Michael Cooper.
Look how quickly, though, that the Catalan side are playing the ball. They want to get on with it.
And Warrington desperately trying to prevent them from doing that. And Fakir again thundering into that Warrington defensive line. Maguire goes on his own and then finds Remy Casti, and Casti over the 40-metre line. This is ominous for Warrington. Catalan building up a head of steam here. Jerome Guisset, Westwood gets to grips with him.
Good basic rugby league football, that's all the Catalans are playing.
Bosk now, Bosk, Ragan, back in field to Bosk. Bosk taking him on, the hand knocks it down.
That'll
Could still be a
try
for Thomas Bosk. Another video ref decision.
It came off a Warrington hand. How it came away in the first place, that's what they'll be looking for. But Thomas Bosk will be given an easy touchdown. But what about the build-up by the wonderful, wonderful forwards? Just blitzed away, time and time again. The touchdown's fine. This is the build-up. Back on the inside, Thomas Bosk. It's knocked back by Breers, and this, gentlemen and ladies, will be TRY time.
Yeah.
He tried everything, did Lee Breers.
Ben Westwood's reaction suggested he knew exactly what the outcome of this decision from Ian Smith is going to be.
Oh, it was Gleeson, sorry. Thought it was Breers.
And then it was Gleeson again, in fact, a second attempt by the centre to just try and get the ball out of the way, but Bosk was there.
This is a simple 4-pointer.
That it is. And back-to-back tries now from the Catalan Dragons have certainly turned this game in their favour.
Struggling to get back into any sort of defensive shape. It was a gift in the end. It was Gleeson that tried everything. 2 occasions to get to it. And sometimes you need the rub of the green. And it certainly came to Thomas Bosk. He's had a wonderful season here.
Scored the try, now looking to convert it. Previous 2 have been tricky attempts. This one a lot easier, and disappears into the building site behind the stand.
This is why Thomas Bosk is so important to this Catalan side. Look at him, he's always got the vision, he's looking for the people who are backing him up, the presence of mind just to back off the try and just come up with the, back off the ball and come up with the try.
The irony is, do you think that pass might have been forward if the hand hadn't touched it? Well, that's history, but
it was certainly levelled. So it's, but as I say, sometimes you just need that little bit of luck that goes on that side. But it deserved a try because the effort of the forwards, they made 45, 50 metres of the field with just 4 play the balls. That's strength.
And do you know what, Steve-O? People always ask the question, why are the forwards just taking it one off the ruck? Because if they do, they're sucking the defence in and they're starting to control the ruck. You've seen Jamil Fakir running over the opposition, and all that means is that the defence has got to come really tight and try and compress to control the ruck. So then there's gaps out wide.
So 16-2, the Catalan Dragons lead here. Wigan awaiting the winners of this after their triumph over the Bradford Bulls last night.
The big question is, and Mick Potter is an experienced coach, he's got to get the message out there and say, hey, come on, fellas, this is far from over. We've got to keep that pressure on. It's a great kick, open space. Have they got the speed? It'll beat them all.
That's a great kick from Bosk again. The boot of Bosk really is causing problems. Dimitri Pello was on the chase.
And really, that's the first and only time that they've utilised this strong wind. And when you've got a 16 points to 2 lead, you can test your arm with a fair amount of confidence. But I can see that there's quite a few, Terry, out there, and the Warrington forwards, they are very tired indeed.
Yeah, they played really well the first 15 minutes, but the Catalan team have really stepped up to the mark, and this is going to be a punishing set. They've got them now down in their own 10 metres, and the forwards have got to bring it up. I think the Warrington team are going to be looking for their outside backs to be getting in and trying to get them some quick play of the balls. Steve
Ganson just telling Lee Breers to hurry up, mate. They're 2 hours in front here.
Well, it's only one, isn't it?
It is one.
Just a referee to get it wrong.
Well, Warrington, their supporters probably looking for an omen. Well, 3 of the last 4 ties between the 3rd place and the 6th place teams have gone in favour of the away team. And that includes that 18-17 win at Leeds. They need to get some points on the board before that half-time hooter sounds, though. And really, apart from maybe the first quarter of the game, they've hardly seen sight of those Catalan posts. Breers with the kick. They'll have the wind at their backs in the second half. Pello underneath it. Greenshields. Must be a good shout for maybe inclusion in the Super League Dream Team at Greenshields. Then the penalty eventually awarded by Steve Ganson.
Some of the tackling by Warrington becoming quite lazy. Little doubt about it that Penny grabbed hold of the jaw of Greenshields. This is more punishment. Bang, up the front.
They're under pressure again. It's a charge from Remy Casti, very impressive French player. Only missed 3 games this year, Casti, as he gets to his feet to play that ball. Here's Olivier Ellimer, one of just 2 players in this Catalan side with Super League playoff experience, along with Jérôme Guisset. Ollie Ellimer played, of course, for Wakefield in their playoff venture.
Good tackle by Monaghan there. He's doing a good job.
Wood is down injured in back play, and Catalan again threatening this short side. Murphy maybe not quick enough off the mark there, and Hicks was across. Wilson just trying to dislodge the ball with a boot, I thought there.
Sheer pressure, and
Grix is under pressure, manages to stay down.
Full control by the French.
It was, Braychek, Penny now. But they're pinning them in that corner.
And this is it. Warrington have got to get the ball to the middle of the pitch because the defenders are cramming in. Look at that, there's 4 and 5 players in the shot, looking to put on the shot and force that error.
4 now, wait.
4 tackles gone. They're only just over their 10-metre line. Breers, so they're going to go wide. Riley was screaming for that. Westwood couldn't find it, but he does find a few yards for his team. Over the 20, but that's the 5th tackle. Breers pointing the way. Well, I think he was in 2 minds there, Lee Breers.
Well, there was no one there calling for the football to get themselves in a position to get a good kick away.
Murphy, Breers went high.
And that's a sign of a very, very tired outfit. Slap. No doubt about it. Mr. Ganson, no problem with that. Can they soak up any more pressure? Here come the big boys.
2 balls on the field, so play can't continue. There's still 2 balls on the field. Lee Breers being very, very cunning there because he wasn't going to throw that ball off the field.
He's going to have a bit of it.
He threw it to Casey Maguire, and that's why he's been summoned.
I know what you're doing, Lee. You're putting the ball back in there. Now, come on.
He's summoned by Steve Ganson.
And this is where they've got to keep the discipline. That's 5 penalties now in a row that they've given to this Catalan side, and they can't give it in this field position.
You know, some of the Catalan forwards, they're pushing each other out of the way. Let me have it, let me have it.
Maguire, they go the short side. The Warrington defence stands firm. Bosk now. Here's Olivier Ellimer. Warrington,
We haven't seen Maguire run from dummy half as yet. Will he throw the dummy in step?
he's pointing to the right, he's going to the left, finds Mogg, Bosk, out wide, a walk-in for Dimitri Pello, another Catalan try, and the Warrington heads go down, the shoulders slump, and again they've been done out wide twice by Murphy on this side, now they've been done out the other side by Dimitri Pello.
You talk about talent in players, but let's not forget the talent that Mick Potter, the coach, has created within this side. It is all about eliminating your defensive player to creating the space, and you do that by just bringing in and sucking in the player, and on this occasion it was Chris Riley, and it was an easy walk-in from Pello. The flags are flying here in the south of France. I thought perhaps if they could have just hung on at 16-2 to half-time, Bill, maybe with the strong wind behind them, maybe with the Breers kicking game, they could get back into it, but I think if he slots this extra over the goalpost, I think it could be just a bridge too far.
Do you think it's because they're so dominant in the middle of the pitch, Steve, or that's why there's gaps out wide, because they've got to come in and, as I said before, try and control these big Catalan forwards?
So Bosk with this touchline conversion, he'll again be looking to hang it in the wind and just drift it into those posts, which he does. Immaculate goal kicking from Thomas Bosk. And that puts Catalan Dragons 22 points to 2 ahead.
See how Breers had to take one, and that meant that Riley had to come off the right wing. And Mr. Pello says, this is quite easy. Simple, basic running. And the way that they utilised the runner, the dummy runner off the ball, nothing short of superb. It's been some master strokes.
It is. It started promisingly for Warrington, but the first half has ended miserably for them, trailing at the break by 22 points to 2.